So what's the weatherman here with a brand new video for you guys. If you're brand new, please be sure to click that subscribe button, click that notification bell so you're notified when we drop a video. Drop a comment so I know if you like the videos. What type of videos are you trying to see? What type of decks are you trying to see? Just let me know. So anyway, I'm just gonna jump right in. For those of you that already know how Evil Eye works, I'll leave a timestamp. Go ahead and skip to the gameplay. I know what you came for. Go ahead and do it. But for those of you that actually want to know about the cards thoroughly, here you go. I'm gonna break that down for you. So before I go right into the deck, I just want to mention one of the best staples right now and the best tech cards is DD Crow. DD Crow is a UR monster. It is a quick effect. You can discard from your hand during either player's turn, target one card in your opponent's graveyard, and banish it. Really relevant. It is good versus Galaxy Eyes. You can get rid of their Galaxy Eye monster when they try to monster reborn in some form. You can get rid of Stones or Blue Eyes against the Blue Eyes deck. You can get rid of the Roses for the Rose Dragon. With TGs, when they try to summon Star Guardian and add a TG, you can chain to banish it. I could go on forever. It works against essentially the entire meta. Why am I mentioning this card? Because that is basically what this deck does. That is what Medusa does when it is equipped with an Evil Eye card. So I'm gonna go right into it right now. So when this card is normal summon, you can target one Evil Eye card in your graveyard except Medusa, itself, and add it to your hand. So this is gonna allow us to recycle our equips, recycle our traps, recycle our field spell, which I'll get into, later on in the video. And also, when it's equipped with Evil Eye Selene, which is both of our equips, which I'll also get into a little bit later, is going to get the quick effect to target a monster in our opponent's graveyard and banish it. So also, once per turn during the next standby phase after this effect was activated, we have to, this is mandatory, banish one card from our graveyard. So not only do we have DD Crow, like I was saying, banish the Galaxy Eyes, Stone, Blue Eyes, all that stuff I mentioned earlier, even Salmon grades, except we can't banish the trap, sadly, because we can't target spell traps. We can only target monsters in the graveyard. But anyway, what's really good about this last portion of the effect, the second part, the once per turn during the next standby phase, banish a card from our graveyard, is that it allows us to play two Treacherous, because Treacherous says that we can only activate it if we have no traps in the graveyard. So we can banish our first copy of the Treacherous using that effect of the Medusa, or if defeat is engraved, then we can normal summon Medusa to get defeat out of the graveyard and add it back into our hand to set it. So pretty much our traps are going to always be live. We can recycle defeat. We can banish the Treacherous to activate the second Treacherous. So we're pretty much always in game with the back row, to be honest. We're pretty much always looking nice. And I just want to also keep in mind that with Selene, when we equip Selene onto our Medusa, not only are we going to have our Medusa have that DD Crow effect, but it can't be targeted and it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. So pretty lit, bro. Pretty lit. We're pretty much looking nice. It's Kakaitis at this point. So I do want to mention though that when we activate our Medusa's effect to banish something while this card is equipped to it, it's going to gain 500 attack and we're going to lose 500 life points. So remember when I said that last portion of Medusa where after we activate our effect during the next standby phase, we have to activate again, but banishing from our grave instead of the opponent's grave. So the thing with this is Selene is going to burn us both times. So keep that in mind that you're not really just activating to lose 500. When you activate, you're losing 1,000 as long as this card is equipped, because you're going to lose 500 on the turn that you banish a card from their grave, and then we're going to lose 500 on the very next standby of your turn. So you're going to lose 1,000 in total from activating it one time. So just keep that in mind so that you're not killing yourself. Also, this card does recycle itself, because if it's in the graveyard, we can banish another Evil Eye spell trap to return itself to the field face down. It'll set itself, and then we can, flip it up on our Medusa, making it untargetable and not able to be destroyed. So pretty nice. Our other Evil Eye equip, I don't know why my voice is going out. Our other Evil Eye equip, which is really nice, is Gorg. Don't really know how to fully say its name. When we equip this under our Evil Eye monster, this card becomes Selene, so it allows us to activate our effects to say they need Selene on the field to get some extra bonus or some shit, or some stuff. Oops. Because it pretty much counts itself as Selene. And then when our life points are lower than our opponent's, we can gain attack equal to the difference in our life points while this card is equipped to our monster. So it's a way to pretty much make ourselves chunky. But we play Zexal Weapon, so it's not really that relevant, which I'll get into later while we play Zexal Weapon in the skill. But the real reason we really love Gorg is to activate that graveyard effect. The graveyard effect of this is we can banish Gorg from the graveyard, and then discard the Evil Eye card from our hand to the graveyard to search for a Evil Eye spell trap. So this allows us to search for our field spell, which lets us search for an Evil Eye monster when we activate it. This lets us search for Celine, which makes us protected from targeting and can be destroyed. This lets us search for the Evil Eye trap, which can return one monster to the field, or if we have, one monster from the field to the hand, or if we have Celine on the field, return two monsters from the field to the hand, or we can even search for Awakening, which allows us to special summon the Evil Eye monster from our hand or graveyard, or if Celine is on the field, we can special summon the Evil Eye monster from the deck. So pretty much the main search of the deck, to be honest, it searches for literally every Evil Eye card in the deck. It searches for everything in this deck list except Parallel Twister and Treacherous. So it's literally the best searcher in the deck. Next, we're going to really go into Basilius, because this is our next big monster. This really lets us search for all of our Evil Eye things too. This is Foolish Burial. It lets us send an Evil Eye spell trap from our deck to the graveyard. What Evil Eye spell trap are we going to be sending? We're going to be sending that card I was just telling you about, Gorg. Why? Because were you just listening 2 seconds ago? You know what I mean? We search for everything with Gorg. Gorg searches for everything. Keep that in mind. Gorg is pretty much the MVP of the deck. Because is Celine better? Technically, but Gorg searches for Celine, so Gorg is better off rip. So the other thing is we can special summon if we control an Evil Eye monster. So pretty much you normal summon Medusa, and then you can special summon this guy just because your other Evil Eye monsters on the field, and we can activate that Fool's Burial effect that I was talking about. This guy is kind of just here to make rank 3 plays, if I'm being honest. It is another Evil Eye card. It does technically protect our Evil Eye spell traps from being destroyed until the end of the next turn if we, activate this as an ignition effect while he's on the field. But technically, we really just use him as discard fodder for Gorg to be able to make a rank 3, because while he's in the grave, he can resummon himself if we control an Evil Eye monster, and then we can go into one of our rank 3s, which if we're going second, we can go into Phantom Break, which is really nice. I might play a second Phantom Break, to be honest. We can be able to target one of our cards our control, like our field spell, for example, and one of their back row, destroying both. And then if this card is destroyed, we can target an Evil Eye monster in our graveyard and add it back to our hand. So we can pop their back row and be able to get something back in the exchange, which is pretty nice. I really like Phantom Break. You could also technically target itself or target Gorg. You can target whatever, you know what I mean? It's just a pretty good card to kind of get rid of something if you're trying to go in for lethal or get rid of something that's in the way. Leviair, which is going to be able to let us summon our Medusa from the banished pile, essentially, if it gets banished or something like that. If we're going first, typically you just summon Zenmain, because if this card's on the field and it would be destroyed, you can detach one exile material from this card instead. And then once per turn during the end phase, if this effect is used, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. So we'll summon this turn 1 pretty much if we can make a rank 3. But if we had better rank 3s, we would. We just sadly don't really have any rank 3s to summon. This guy right here, I've honestly been thinking about it as I'm looking at them right now, and I really might just play a second Phantom Break Sword instead. But I play this because he doesn't require targeting one of my own cards to remove, but it only removes set cards, so you can target a set monster or a set back row, you know what I mean? But Phantom Break is just a bit more versatile, so I don't know, I really might just play 2 Phantom Break. So I guess it's really on you. This extra deck is pretty free to play. I would say the only things that are mandatory is the Utopia, because we play Zexal Weapon. So because we lose so much of our life points, what Zexal Weapon says is, when we get to 2,000 or below, we essentially go Super Saiyan. Does that allow us to win the game? Technically speaking, no, but we look better than them. So I would say who really loses is we're the better ones, you know what I mean? And other than that, when we hit 1,000 or lower, we've got the Zexal Weapon. I'm sorry, when we hit 2,000, it's going to add, let me just read it because I'm sitting here trying to make it up. After transforming the Zexal, we're going to add C39. So yeah, once we hit 2,000 or below, we're going to add C39 Utopia Ray to our extra deck, but we're not going to summon him unless we get to 1,000 or below, because his effect is not activatable unless you get to 1,000 life points or lower. So what it says is you can detach one material from this guy, non-target, choose one of your opponent's monsters. They lose 1,000, we gain 500, and we can do this for however many material we have, which will be, 1, 2, 3, 4 material. 3 material, which would be 3 material. So pretty nice. It's going to be how we get over something that's non-targetable, how we go in for game for something, which is why I really don't actually think Dark Rebellion is necessary. I'm going to be honest with you, I just didn't know what else to play. Sin technically isn't necessary. We really don't make rank 4s very often because it kind of leaves us in a really vulnerable spot. If you're making a rank 4, it means you don't have Medusa, which means you don't have Selene, which means, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it leaves you in a really vulnerable spot. So you're only really doing it if you're going for games. So I kind of lean heavier towards the rank 3s in my extra deck than I do the rank 4s because I just feel like that's where more of your Xyz are going to be coming from. So I'm just going to get right into the stuff now. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Let me go over a couple things. Parallel Twister, the reason we play Parallel Twister and not Cosmic, obviously we lose a lot of life points, so I don't want to play Cosmic. We would just die. We'd just be killing ourselves. You can play MST, but for those of you that are free to play, I know you're going to be happy to hear this. MST is not as good in this deck because, yes, we can get rid of one of their cards, but to be honest with you, ideally, we want to get rid of one of our things. We want to get rid of a Gorg to be able to also banish it from the graveyard to search for something. We want to get rid of this. Well, I mean, it's just fodder, to be honest. We really want to get rid of this specifically. But when we did play 3 Storm, this was also good to play. I may go back to another Storm. It's just that it was just kind of weird to me sometimes. If you're in the late game activating a Storm, you know, I have to get rid of my Selene because Storm is non-target, popping all of my spell traps to pop, you know, an equal amount of their spell traps. So it just kind of feels awkward in the late game. But it was really great before when we could play 3 of it because you can open it. So I don't know. I do play 3 Parallel Twister now. But also Parallel Twister lets you target a monster too because it just targets a card. So if they don't have back row, we could use this to also just get rid of a problem monster that's in our way. So I don't know. I just personally feel like Twister is kind of the way to go. You can maybe play 2 of these in one Storm like I used to. Other than that, I think that is the deck. We can kind of just get right into the gameplay. Yeah, let's go. Alrighty, going second. It's not a great hand to be able to switch it, but we can still make stuff slide because this is what we do. So right now, I'm going to tell you what our hand is capable of. Not too much at the moment, right? We've got the Basilius in our hand, we've got the Trap, we've got Treacherous. So we're going to set our Gorg, right? And we're going to activate Parallel Twister to send Gorg to the graveyard and pop a back row. Now with Gorg, we're going to banish it to send a card to a grave. We're going to send Defeat. Now we're going to activate the field spell and we're going to search for Medusa. So you may be thinking, oh, you got a Trap in grave. How are you going to activate the Treacherous that's in your hand? Well, on normal summon, Medusa can get an Evil Eye card from the graveyard. Now we just added the Trap back and we're going to special summon Basilius. Now Basilius is going to send a Gorg. And we're just going to set the 2 back row. The reason why we send the Gorg is because typically what we would want to do is use our Gorg to search for Selene. However, we already used our Gorg to search for the field spell so that we could get Medusa. Considering we already had the Trap and we had a Treacherous, I felt pretty comfortable not having the DD Crow, so this was the decision I chose to go for. And having the Gorg in the graveyard just meant if I top decked the Evil Eye monster, I could immediately search for whatever I needed in the following turn. So he's playing Yosenju. We're going to trench both of these 2 guys. Pretty easy decision. He's going to end his turn now. So now with us top decking, we're going to set another Tretch. We activate a Selene and we're going to banish Gorg from the graveyard. Because we didn't draw Evil Eye monster, we couldn't activate Gorg to banish it to discard an Evil Eye. So we're going to activate. Oh, and here he goes. He's going to return this. Oh, but guess what? Doesn't matter. We didn't normal summon yet. So now we're going to normal summon. And we're going to add Selene back from the graveyard. So that was a lose-lose from him. If he would have waited for the Equip to resolve, he wouldn't have been able to target us. So he kind of had to do it then, in which case it didn't matter because I was just going to normal summon it again and then get the Equip back. Going into the next clip. So at this point, I'm feeling good. I'm going first, and I'm going against Blair, who is known for not playing a single known deck ever. So these cheeks have never looked more clappable. So I'm going to start off by activating my field spell, and I'm probably going to search for Basilius because I already have a Medusa in my hand. Now that we've searched for Basilius, I'm going to normal summon Medusa. Because we control the Evil Eye monster, we're going to special summon Basilius, and we're going to activate his effect to send an Evil Eye spell trap from our deck to the grave. I'm going to send Gorg. banishing Gorg and discarding the Gorg in our hand to search for Selene. We're going to equip Medusa. Now Medusa is going to have the ability to DD Crow, and we are protected from destruction, and we can't be targeted, as well as we're going to set a trap. So they're activating Tinky. I know that they're playing either the Lunalights or I can't think of the other deck right now. The deck we literally just went against in the other clip. Whatever. So they're going up. They're going to summon Saber Dancer. So I see the situation I'm in. I'm just going to go ahead and banish Fox, because I'm going to have to banish something regardless. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit Fox, get it out of here, because Fox would protect them from being targeted. I don't know if I'm going to want to use my Tretch later on. I know that I can't use it on Saber Dancer because Saber Dancer can't be targeted, but I saw that she was going to special summon something, so I'm like, maybe I want to use this Tretch on something later. So I banished the Fox. I activate my field spell so that we share the pain, because I'm a little bit of a prick, and we're going to activate the skill. So because we're lower than 2,000, that means that our character goes Super Saiyan. Does it do anything? Technically speaking, no. But would you rather win in a regular mode in base, or would you rather win in Super Saiyan? That's all that I'm saying. So now we're going to do a little bit to reduce us below 1,000. We're going to try to summon Utopia Raid, go for game. We're still a little bit above 1,000. Bam. Now we are below 1,000. It's going to activate because we just activated the field spell. Now we're normal summoning, and we know the trap that they set is the Lunalight trap that just activates to summon a Lunalight or search for a Lunalight card after a Lunalight is destroyed, so we don't care. We're just going to go in with this. So bam, Utopia Raise actual effect. I'm just skipping the animations, I'm sorry. Utopia Raise actual effect, like I said earlier, we're going to be able to detach a material to reduce them by 1,000. Right? And then we're going to boost ourselves up 500. Reduce, reduce, reduce. So now we're 4K there at 500 with Tinky being there boosting him. And that is big GG's. Come on, now what did I say? Those cheeks never look more clappable. Who is Blair known for using? Not a single deck that's relevant, bro. I'm telling you. Alrighty, so we're going to get Kite, which is like I'm saying, we're going against some tier. Let me show you what it's like when we go against some tier. So it looks like we're going against Quicksilver over here. We're about to show our boy Dahmer how we do things around here. So, of course, we're going to normal summon our boy. Oh, man. I don't know what that was about. We're going to normal summon our boy Medusa. And we're going to special summon Basilius because we control the Evil Eye monster. Now we're going to activate to send the Evil Eye spell trap from our deck, which is Gorg. We're going to use Gorg, banish it to send Selene from our hand to the grave to search for the trap. Now we've got the spell and the trap, the spell that makes us untargetable and it protects us from being destroyed, as well as making Medusa DD Crow, and then having the ability to return 2 monsters to the hand. So we're sitting pretty. We're going to chain. He's nervous. He's sweating. He's thinking to himself right now, oh man, do I have clappable cheeks? He's tributing to search for the spell. It's going to set, 2, 3? Sets 3, but we're untargetable. We don't care. We know all of his stuff targets, so it doesn't matter to me. We are going to have to activate our mandatory effect and banishing our second copy of Selene. Going to activate the field spell to search. Going to activate Basilius, sending Gorg, and we're going to we're going to banish it to discard the level 3 from our hand. Because we have an Evil Eye monster on the field, we can special summon him from the grave, and we're going to go for a Phantom Break to pop a card while popping our field spell, and also get a Evil Eye monster back from the grave. So we're just going to activate now. We're getting above 4K. We're just shy of 4K, but we should still have lethal if both of his cards are not activatable. He floodgates our newly summoned card, which makes us just shy of 4K. However, we flip up defeat. Defeat does not specify that it has to be our opponent's card. So now we're going to normal summon, and guess what? We're going to get that trap right back. So not only would we have game, but we even have the disruption again to return 2 cards, and our Medusa is still protected from targeting and protected from destruction. Big GG's, like I said, clappable cheeks. And now we're here. Who's tiered? Is it me or is it them? Which one of us are the tiered deck? I'm just saying, bro. Anyway, if you stuck out this far, I appreciate you guys. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me how you felt about the video. Tell me what kind of decks you guys want to see in the future. And if you're truly curious if this deck is good, just look at the name of this YouTube channel and remember, I can only keep it 6K with you. Team 6K.